If you want to be better than 99.7% of chess players on chess.com, you have to change the way you play chess. First of all, you have to play the exact same opening every time you play chess. I know sometimes you just like to change the opening because you think definitely something wrong with the opening. Like for example, your opponent plays e4 and you choose to play the Caro-Kann. And you know in the Caro-Kann defense you have to play c6, they play d4, and then you develop like this. And whenever they play e5, you can play something called the classical variation. You get out with the bishop. And then they play, for example, and you know that you have to play this move e6, continue this pawn pyramid, and then you play chess by striking with c5, developing the knight, and you just have completely different positions. So here they play, for example, h4, and then you play e6, and then after this you continue this, which is exactly what the Caro-Kann opening is about. Then you get attacked with this move. You move the bishop, get attacked again, you move the bishop back, and then your bishop gets trapped. So you say, this opening is stupid. I'm not going to play the Caro-Kann ever again. So then you go and you shift to play, for example, against e4, you play d5, and you're like, you know what? Let's play the Scandinavian. You take, knight takes, you go somewhere else where you don't know the theory of it. You keep changing the opening, thinking the problem is in the opening. Dude, the problem is not the opening. The problem is you. Don't take it personal, but the problem is you. I actually, whenever I played this Caro-Kann, the first time I played it, I got trapped. And this trap that I showed you, this is the trap that I fell for. My first game I played the Caro-Kann, I played h4, and I know I have to play this pyramid. So I played e6, and then I got my bishop trapped, and I lost the game. But you know what I did? I did not choose another opening. I played the exact same opening. I was like, okay. So what is the mistake? Whenever they play h4, I learned from my mistake from the game review. I have to play h6. Okay. Now, whenever they attack me, I have the option to go all the way back. Or you have the option to play bishop to e4, they attack you again, and then they go back. And then you have another trap against you. They play this move e6. So every time you play the opening, your opponent tries a different trick. Okay, you have many of your opponents are gonna try different things against you. Sometimes they're gonna play this tail variation. Sometimes they're gonna play this e6 move, which is really annoying. Sometimes I don't know how to respond to it. The first time I actually responded to this, I was like, free pawn, yippee, I'm gonna take. They play bishop here. I was like, okay, you want to trade down a pawn? That's stupid. And then I just get my knight out, and I get checkmated right here. That was when I was a beginner, like under 1000. So the mistake here that you do, that whenever you lose because of the opening, you think that the opening is bad. No, you are bad. You have to play the exact same opening every time until we know how to respond to this. After this move, after this variation, I know how to respond to this. Play queen to d6. And then after he takes, I take back. And then I develop. I play e5. I know how to respond to every trap in the Caro-Kann because I played it over and over and over and over. I literally play nothing other than the Caro-Kann defense. Even if they play, for example, d4, I play Slav. Sometimes I'm hoping for them to play then e4 and switch into the Caro-Kann. This is what you have to do. Play the exact same opening every time. Now, why is this important? Because you need to be familiar with the position. If you want to know the position, you need to be familiar. You need to know it. You need to play the position over and over, the same opening. And then you get trapped, you learn from your mistake, and then you build on that mistake. You build on that. Now you have more knowledge about the opening that you choose. But if every time you play chess, you change the opening, what are you going to learn? Every time you change the opening, for example, other than playing the Caro-Kann, playing this is a completely different position than the Caro-Kann. The Caro-Kann involves c6 and d5. What the hell the queen is doing here? That's a different position. You're not gonna perform well in a different position. And if every single time you change the opening, I mean, what are you going to get from it other than just confusion and just losing the game? So stick to one opening for white, one opening for black, and that's it. Now, we're not done yet. This is just first step of trying to be better than 99.7% of players. Step number 2, don't be a one mover. Okay? I don't want you to think about only one move or one piece. You have options. You always have options. Find them and then choose the one that suits the position. These options are called candidate moves. Usually there are 3 moves that you can choose from depending on how you want the position to go or to continue. For example, I'm going to show you one game against a 21 plus 100, rated player. This is on chess.com. So my opponent played the e4, and I played the Caro-Kann because this is what I always play. Always play the Caro-Kann. And then they play this move. I take, and then I take back. Here, you can choose how you want the position to go for. For example, I wanted to play e5. E5, I'm more familiar with that. I can get out with maybe with the bishop. I don't know. I don't think so. Getting out with the knight, like here, for example, and you get attacked, move the knight again, get attacked, move the knight again. This is a completely different position. Okay. It's very different from this position where you have e5 and then you develop the knight. The thing is here, you have moves, you have options. You can choose either e5, you can choose knight f6. You can either choose here, playing g6, and after for example, they develop the knight, you can play bishop here. Every move you have is a candidate move that leads to a completely different position. Okay? Always make the moves that leads to something familiar. And I like to be familiar with the position, so after takes, I'll play e5. And after this, I just develop. For example, here, after they develop this knight, they're attacking this pawn. I have options. I always have options. I need to defend this pawn. How do I defend the pawn? There are bad ways. For example, like f6, pushing the pawn, on this diagonal on the king. It could be very dangerous at sometimes. Plus, you're taking the square away from the knight. This is an option. But is it a good option or a bad option? You decide, because this is you playing chess. If you want that position, you can play it. For example, you might be thinking about, oh, let's just play bishop to d6. I'm defending this pawn. That's another option, but is it a good option? They can play knight here. They can attack your bishop twice, and they can attack this pawn also twice. Even if you play a check, they attack you. Maybe you trade queens. You move back. You cannot protect this pawn. You have to move. You will lose this pawn, and even they can play this and then win the pawn later. So what I'm saying is, you always have options. Don't just play one movers. Don't play like this. Whenever you just get out of from the opening phase, for example, let's just say trade and this. Don't try to invent new moves. Don't try to play expanding on the queen side before developing your pieces. You always have options. Think about all of the options that you have and choose the one that suits you best and the kind of position you want. Step number 3. Stop attacking and start developing. I'm going to show you something. Here, whenever you play for example, with the white pieces, you play e4, your opponent plays e5. That's it. These are the pawn moves that you need. You don't need anything else. Develop your minor pieces. You need pieces out before you can attack. Don't just play queen h5 for some reason, okay? Just hoping for them playing this move g6 and you win the rook. Only beginners fall for this, and even beginners stop falling for this. Do you want to play beginners for the rest of your life? I don't think so. So stop playing openings that are bad. Develop your minor pieces. What you want to do is to follow opening principles. 1 pawn or 2 pawns in the center, and that's it. F all of these pawns. You don't need them. 2 pawns in the center, and then focus on these 4. And then castle your king. If you just follow this every single time you play chess, you will be more familiar with the games that you play. You will be happier and you will be better at chess. You develop your knight. They develop their knight. You develop your knight as well. They can play this. You can develop your other knight. You can play d3. You can get the bishop out. You can castle. What you're seeing right now is development. You need to develop your pieces. You can never win. Never, ever win with only one piece. Getting out with the queen like this, they develop, you play bishop here. What's going to happen after knight to f6? What's going to happen after that? Well, you're going to keep going for some kind of... Now you have no attack. Nothing. So you just have a queen here instead of the knight. And not to mention that whenever you play anything else, opening up with the bishop, for example, your queen will be attacked and you will be giving your opponent time to develop their pieces. That's why it's much better to develop your pieces other than just attacking. Now, step number 4. Play only rapid games. Don't play blitz and bullet. I mean, yes, if you see your favorite YouTuber or, chess player playing on a stream, playing Blitz and Bullet, don't try to copy him thinking that, oh, it's okay, it's fun and stuff. It is not fun. Bullet and Blitz are destroying your chess. Really. Now, the reason for that, they kill your chess. The reason for that, you start making moves not based on good calculation or a solid reason, but rather to flag your opponent or confuse him, or you feel like playing that move. You need to play moves based on calculation and deep understanding of the position in hand. Bullet and Blitz just train your brain to prioritize speed and luck over calculation and uncertainty. Sorry, over calculation and certainty. So be certain, calculated. Stop playing Bullet and Blitz. They're not good, especially if you're a beginner. Yes, they are fun, but most of the times you win either by time, or your opponent makes a stupid mistake because he is down on time. It's never good for you to play Bullet and Blitz, so stop playing them. Now 5. The most important thing to do is asking yourself why. Why do I want to play this move? Why my opponent played this move? So I'm going to show you some game. I mean the same game that I played against this very high rated opponent, over 2100. I want you to ask yourself why. There's no such thing a move played for no reason. Even beginners make a move even for a silly reason, but it's still there is a reason. So always try to find out why behind the moves. Not only the reason behind your moves, but behind the reason of your opponent's move. Because he might be threatening a checkmate, he might be threatening something. Okay. So now I'm going to show you, this here, I'm going to show you some stuff here that happened. Hold on. Okay, against this player, I played e5, and then here, white decided to develop this their knight to attack my pawn here. Now I needed to defend, so I can either play queen to c7 and then they develop the knight, or I play something, or I play knight to d7 first. And the reason bishop to d6, as I showed you earlier, it's bad because the knight here to c4. So this move is a preparation. They prepare for this, so they're like, maybe they're gonna fall for this. Maybe black will play bishop to d6, and knight here attacks this pawn twice, attacks the bishop, and this is not good for me. But I am prepared. I'll play knight to d7, and now this move doesn't work because I can always play queen c7 and defend, and then I'll be very happy. Then the game continued like this. Now every single move has a reason. For example, this c3 move seems like a completely stupid move, but it's not. The queen wanted to get out here, the bishop get out here. For example, if the bishop ever moved, the queen will be attacking the pawn on b7. The queen and bishop works like a battery attacking this pawn on f7. See, every move has a reason. You need to know why the move has been played. Because when you're capable of knowing why everyone made a move, then you got into his mind. You know what he's thinking, what he's planning, and what he wants. You can never lose against someone you know his next move. Never. So keep that in mind in every game, on every move, forever. Why? Even in the opening phase. They played e4. Okay, why? I want to control the center. Okay, I want to play c6. Why? Because I want to help support my center. I play d4. Still controlling the center. d5. Okay, now they take. What do they want to take? They want to go for the exchange variation where they can just develop their knight, play c3, develop their bishop, develop the other knight. Every move has reason. Ask yourself why. Okay. Now the final step. This step is non-negotiable. Learn from each game you play. Every single game. How can you really improve at chess if you lost a game and just played another one? What have you learned? You learned nothing. If you don't know what you did wrong, you are destined to repeat the same mistake until you find it and understand it. If you don't know why, okay. Now here I'm just gonna say, because I'm reading out of my text just to get my thoughts clearly. Okay. So many people go quickly through the game review. That's if they ever review their games in the first place, and just see, oh, I bundled a bishop. Okay, now let's play another game. That's not a good game review. A good game review is to really get into the game and try to understand why you did the mistake. For example, I'm going to show you one of my games that I played very earlier. Okay, this game was against the 2100 as well. Very strong opponent, and I am winning in this position. I'm winning. You can pause the video if you want to find the winning move. There's only one move that kills the game and one moves that win the game. I definitely killed the game because I made a blunder. Now, the blunder is taking the spawn. And after they take, this is not winning, this is a draw. But this is the mistake that I made. Now, you ask yourself, why? Why did I make this blunder? What else am I supposed to do here? I wanted to play king to f4, but I was really low in time, and I was like, hold on, maybe I can simplify and get the king. He tries to defend, and I attack him, and I win the pawns while he tries to go and take my pawns. And let's see who wins that race. I was so low on time. So my first mistake, I got so low on time. I was thinking about different variations that never happened or never could have happened. Okay, that's one mistake. Another mistake. I was not patient. I did not play king here. I did not play king to f4 because I thought maybe he's gonna have something. Maybe he can move his king. Maybe I need to get in before he gets in with his king. I was not patient. Now you might say, well, what is the difference between taking and actually playing king f4? Taking like this and playing king to f4, he can go here. And after I take, he takes. And after I play this is what happened. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose this pawn. Here, takes, push, and king here. And I was like, well, we both promote, I guess, but only here that I actually lost on time. I was not thinking. I lost on time. And even though this is a draw, because it's equal, everyone's gonna keep giving checks. So it is a draw, but I lost on time. I had to play king to f4, and the reason for that, even if he takes, I just take back. The king has to make a move. There's nothing that can move in the opponent's position. He goes back, I play this, he goes here, I go there, and then it's just a matter of even actually here. You can stay here, but there are still moves actually. I mean, I think the best move is actually king to d6, which is the best move. They play this move king to f6, and then you just go after these pawns because it's gonna take him forever to go like this to take, and then you just take these two pawns, you move away, and you promote. So always learn from your mistakes. Always. I mean, I've showed you this in the first one. I showed you it here, right here, when I played the Caro-Kann. After this kind of variation in the classical variation, and I lost my bishop because of e6. I only managed to fix my opening because I learned from the game review. If you do these 6 steps, I promise you will gain over 100 rating points in only 1 month. Thank you for watching.